This episode is going out live on Bookface and YouTube Monday, September 20th. It is now 6:02. We are a little tardy, but that's okay. Hello, Josh.
Hello, Barry. Yeah, we're definitely a little tardy, that's for sure.
We can't say that. That's not politically correct.
Tardy?
Oh, late. Yes, that's right. Sorry, my bad. Whoops.
Yeah, we are a little late, right?
Yes, we are. Habitually, I think. Habitually. You're lowering your chair. My chair just lowers by itself. I got a new one, but it's sitting upstairs in a box that I got to put together. I forgot about it. Yeah, it's all good.
I don't even know how to lower my chair.
Oh. How's your week or, whatever, all that been?
Oh, it's been good.
Yeah.
A little tired and whatnot, but, it's
nice.
Keeping on, man. Keeping on.
Keep on keeping on, buddy. Keep on keeping on.
How was your week?
Pretty good, man. Yeah, this was a good weekend. Just seemed to get a fair amount of stuff done, which was kind of nice. But relaxing. Not long enough. I don't understand why we're not on a 4-day work week.
Well, you're pretty much on a 4-day work week. You kind of just stretched it out over
This is live. This is on the internet, Josh. I work 12 hours a day.
You work very hard.
I do work very hard. I do work hard enough. Hardly.
That's right.
Yeah.
Hard enough?
I get my job done. That's the most important part. People seem to like me. I'm strong enough. I'm smart enough. And gosh darn it, people like me.
That's right.
Yeah.
And at least you have a job to work hard on.
There you go. Absolutely. That I do. Right. Yeah. I wish I didn't. I wish I was independently wealthy, but, one day, maybe.
Well, depends on what you define as wealth there, Barry.
Yeah. Well, it's all about love.
That's right. Well, then you are a very rich man.
Sure. I went to the Ferrari store the other day.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, I can't buy nothing with love.
No.
I spread the love around. They kicked me out.
Yeah, the hugs didn't work. Security didn't like the hugs.
No, they did not like the hugs. Yeah, probably should have worn a mask.
Yeah. No.
How awkward is that now, in order to walk into a bank, you must be masked?
What kind of mask can you wear, though? Can you wear the pig mask, Richard Nixon?
Yeah. I wonder, you could probably wear anything. Boy, Halloween's sure going to be easy this year,
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, no doubt. I just kind of find it funny that, the places where you go that you shouldn't wear a mask, now you have to wear a mask, which is just awesome.
Yeah, like the pool.
Yeah. Well, yeah, there you go.
You like being waterboarded, kids?
Yeah, no doubt, eh? Too funny.
Yeah.
Oh, well, it's all good.
Either way, I'm not allowed to go anywhere. I'm not allowed to go anywhere now anyways. So.
Yeah, no doubt, eh? So today's show, we figured we would tackle voting. All about voting. And more. And more than just voting. We touched on the other day, politician accountability. Like a guy can serve one term and then get his benefits for the rest of his life.
Yeah, which is complete BS.
Well, it's complete BS unless if I or you or somebody I know does it, I guess. And
but I got to work 25 years for my whole life to collect a measly tiny pension that might be okay to survive off of when I'm ready to retire.
Yeah. No, I don't agree with that. And you had mentioned, should have to vote on them.
Definitely.
At the end of their term, we vote whether you get your pension or not.
Yeah.
That's just beautiful.
And time served should play a factor. It should be a sliding scale, right?
Yeah. It should be like anything else. None of this lifetime of freedom,
No. Yeah. Especially, and you got to age out too. So say Justin Trudeau decides to hang up the, I'm out of politics. I'm never going to run again. I'm going to collect my pension. He's been what? He served for what? 12, 13 years now or something like that? Maybe,
yeah.
Yeah, and prime minister for what, 6 or 7?
Yep.
I can't even remember. I don't
even care.
But either way, he's still of working age. Him retiring now is kind of a farce.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Why should he collect his whatever it is, $200,000 a year pension for the rest of his life?
Amazing. It's mind-boggling. How about if you at the end of your term you're voted on, and the outcome of the vote would somehow dictate what pension you get. So if 20% of the people voted, you get 20% of your pension.
That's, I mean,
well, think terrible. About it this way, and because so Trudeau won the election in 2019, he had 37.5% of the vote.
Of like 50-something% of the people that actually voted.
Well, but he 37%, so that would mean his pension is 37% of whatever the pension should be. So if it's supposed to be, $100,000, he would get 37 grand.
Yeah, which is still like a pretty.
That's still pretty crazy, yeah.
For like a 50-something-year-old guy.
Yeah.
Is he even 50 yet?
I don't even think so. No.
No, he can't even. No, there's no way.
20-something. I don't know. Yeah. Perpetually 20-something.
Well, mind of a 4-year-old, but.
Yeah. Well.
I saw him.
Body of a Cuban boy.
I saw a Facebook picture of him casting his ballot today, and I asked him what color crayon he used to cast his ballot.
I wonder who he voted for.
Maxime Bernier.
He's gonna get all confused.
Yeah. Well, he's gonna vote for the one that sounds the most French, right?
Yeah, probably. Yeah. That's awesome. But the fact that you've got to vote on your local representative, that's not your choice necessarily for prime minister. No, but your MP is supposed to represent your constituents of the area that you're serving, right? But we all know how party line works nowadays, and if you go against it, you're out. Yeah. So, we shouldn't even have MPs at this point, anyways. Especially with our technology, our voice is heard in Ottawa. They just don't listen to it. No, exactly. Yeah. I had looked up some interesting numbers. If you give me a second, so I can go with Canadian. Remember, numbers are hard. Yes, numbers are very difficult. So let's see here if I can get all fancy with Mr. Technology. And click, choink. I'm going to go over there. I'm going to try and share a screen if I can. And that's not what I want. Oh, that's fuzzy. Yeah, no, that's fuzzy. That's not good. Share current application. Show QMix numbers. Why am I seeing this? Probably should have rehearsed this one a little bit ahead of time. Well, that's okay. You can read those numbers too. I can, yeah. I could always do that, but that's. Oh, hold on, I got it. I'm so SMRT with this technology stuff. I can go like this. There. Nice. Can you make those bigger? Yes, I can make them bigger. I go like this. I go like that. There you go. So a little interesting, I found it. So I went and I started doing a little bit of homework, and I started looking at the date of election, as you can see across the top there, the current population of the country, the number of electors on the list, how many people are eligible to vote, and the total ballots cast, and how many were non-voters, so voter turnout. So it's interesting. The percentages really change of total population versus what can vote. And you can see over time, it went down. And then about 1917, from 1917 to 21, a lot more people started voting. But on these lists, you've got a lot of things like the, woman's right to vote and so forth, right? That so many things changed over time. And I'll scroll down towards the end here. So the 2019 election, the population of the country is roughly about 35 million. 27 million were eligible voters, and only 18 million ballots were cast, which leaves 9 million eligible votes that didn't show up.
See, that's ridiculous. And then we'll look at like 2008 there as well. You only had 50-something percent, 58%.
Yeah.
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 It still equates to 9 million and change. However, I mean, that number is closer to 10 million.
Well, it's damn near 10 million people that didn't vote.
Well, that's ridiculous. It's almost a third of the population of the country. Right?
Well, especially when you look. So the Liberals won the 2019 election. The Liberals won 39.47%. There was 7.2 million votes that won them the election, with over 9 million people that didn't vote. So if you take the net result, they had negative 1.7 million votes. Right? I mean, the Conservatives at that stage, the Green Party technically could have 9,655,000 votes. Independents, 9,536,000 plus votes. So to me, did you win? No. If I got a 39.47% on a test, that's an absolute fail.
But if you work on one of those, what are they called? The bell curve for the class or whatever. However it works nowadays, where you're graded by your peers, right, in school.
Yeah. It's I looked at some U.S. as well, out of curiosity.
I don't think the U.S. is any better.
No. File open. U.S. voter reference. It was kind of interesting. Oops. Hey, zoomy, zoom. Very in the technology is just out of control. So it was interesting. There you go. That's a little better now. So it's interesting that, they didn't have as many numbers actually available, but you can still see the same percent of non-voters, 1828, 42% non-voters, and the list goes on. And we started collecting actual data around 1932, and as the list goes on. Then you have the same thing, 2016 election. 136,000 actually turned out to vote, with 249 million, 230 million eligible. Then, registered voters, 157 million, but yet 126 million didn't go and vote at all.
I know, and that's still almost like a third of the population, right?
It's crazy. It's absolutely mind-blowing. Now,
and they say Canada and the United States are so different from each other.
Yeah, no, they're not.
No, we're just politer assholes up here.
Yeah. So my question would be, the no vote. Should a no vote count? 100 million people didn't vote for Hillary or Trump. So, and I mean, we've got just different numbers up here in Canada, the same thing. So it clearly doesn't work. I looked up reasons why people don't vote. Well, first of all, my analogy has always been, look, if you have faith in the system, right, that the voting, you think I should vote because you believe in the system, you think it works, and blah, blah, blah. No matter what my reason for not voting is, that only supports your belief that the system works. Because I'm putting my faith in the rest of y'all who maybe have more time on your hand to do their homework, to understand what the candidate is about, all of that. I'm putting my faith in you making the decision for me. And that's part of what the whole process is about. So if you truly believe in the system, you really can't say that I'm screwing it because I'm not going to vote.
Yes and no. I mean, if you don't vote, I think you relinquish all your rights to complain about how the government's operating.
Okay, so then on that, I understand that.
However, there are independents that are more in line with how you want to vote. How is any independent party going to gain traction unless they can get supporters?
You got a good point, but they've got to let me know, first of all, because I'm sure there are, but they've never come to me and talked to me.
Well, because they don't have the $1 million budgets to target people like you, Barry.
Well, I've got a theory behind that as well, Josh. I think that all campaign fundraising no matter which party you're with, the fundraising goes to a kitty, and everybody is
kitty.
So yes, like not a little kitty, like a pocket kitty. Like, like here is the fundraising kitty. It goes into this lovely kitty. I can call it kitty. It doesn't say kitty.
Kitties
but
like boxes.
Yes. So all of the money goes into that, and everybody is allowed to equally withdraw from it. So it's still an advantage for you to have big fundraising for your campaign if you're a liberal or a conservative or whatever you are, because the more that you get, the more you will be able to take. But you're also raising money for your competition. So you better believe in yourself. You better believe in yourself, because if you don't believe in yourself and you're thinking, well, I'm going to get $100,000 from these guys so nobody else gets it from them, not the way it's going to work with Barry's system.
Pretty good idea, man.
Right? Well, now that levels the playing field for the independents. Now, when the independents are showing up, I mean, we've got the stats on the sheet over here. The independents ended up with 2.8% of the votes. They have 513,000 votes through every single independent. That's everybody listed except Liberal, Conservatives, Democrats, the Bloc, and the Green Party. Everybody else got 2.8%. So your argument of me voting for an independent, how are they going to get traction? Sure, but unless if everybody is, they're not getting any traction, right? Yeah. And if they were in my riding and I heard about them and I like them, then yes, then I'll go out and vote for them. But I've never met that person that I've liked. But there's a lot of
surprised. I got a phone call from the PPC for the first time. They were the only political party that actually reached out and phoned me this year.
Oh wow, what'd they have to say?
Yeah. Doug Bevan, I think he's Sunshine Coast, Sea to Sky region.
Right.
Called looking for my support, and obviously I am not part of that region anymore. And
right, yeah.
Pretty confused about like what happened. And I was, well, I obviously moved. So
yeah. Like pretty much everybody else that's lived in that area for the last 10, 15 years.
And that's what I said to him about that. We touched base briefly on a little bit of like affordable housing and whatnot, and free enterprise, and capitalism and whatnot, and blah blah blah. And we both obviously came to the conclusion of if the shoe was on my foot, I probably would have cashed out and made my money too, blah blah, sort of thing. But even though I wasn't part of his riding, he still wanted to take the time to listen and talk and pointing me in the right direction on who to contact out here. And,
that's the only job that's his only job for the preceding month or two.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah, he ain't going to do that after he wins.
Oh, and he's not going to win either. No, Doug seems like he's pretty on the level, man. Like, just kind of seemed like your typical, sounded like your island stoner type of guy, but just pretty down to earth. And hopefully, it all stays kind of that way. But
cool.
But there's an independent there reaching out. He's got his call lists and email lists. And, I get all my emails from him still. And but I don't hear boo from the Conservative Party, the Liberal Party, NDP, even the Green Party, who's like your next in line sort of thing, and competition wise, or used to be until PPC. Even the Bloc Québécois gained a little bit of traction, oddly enough.
I think so. Yeah, absolutely.
But there's a lot of populism happening in Quebec right now as well. So that probably fuels that a little bit.
Yeah, totally.
But, either way, I'd like to hear from pretty much everybody. And this year, heard from the one party that nobody says that you don't want to hear from.
Yeah,
right?
yeah, exactly. Yeah. I don't know
not
that
a racist thing was said.
Like even on the show, how much I'd like to hear from politicians. I wouldn't mind. They can promote themselves or whatever. That's fine. But it's all about ideology and the system. And I'd like to get their views on things like the, their pension, our pension idea and stuff like that, what their thoughts are with stuff like that. I'd love to hear, because I guarantee they're going to be against it. You know what I mean? Who wouldn't be? If I was a politician, I'm against it, even though it's my bloody idea. You know what I mean?
Oh, yes and no. It just gives you a drive to do a damn good job.
Yeah, exactly. No, absolutely.
You're not going to do a good job, you don't deserve anything, right? That's your performance bonus.
That is.
You don't even need
exactly what it is.
That point. Yeah, your performance bonus.
Yeah, I think that
you did good for the country's going to do good for you.
I can't even imagine I can't think of anybody that I would have voted for yes for them getting their pension. Like I just can't, and I'm ignorant with that, and what they've done and stuff. But I mean, like it would be great motivation. It would great if you've got to make the people happy, and if you don't make like right now they make people happy right now because we're in an election, and that's the only time they give a rat's ass about making anybody happy. After that, they're just. I mean, it's gobbledygook. Like you turn on the C-SPAN or whatever, and they're just yelling and screaming at each other like a bunch of school children. The school children in the Commons are better behaved than the politicians, and that's the irony, right?
I know.
That's what the hilarious part is.
Oh, we need to get rid of the House of Commons. It's nothing but a waste of time, and you watch it all over the world and other people's like kind of similar systems of government. You go to like say some of the Asian countries, for example, like Thailand and whatnot, and they have all out like physical brawls in their house chambers, or nothing ever gets accomplished by the squabbling that gets done in there. And you just got to think about like the amount of taxpayer money that goes into the security, all the bills that have to be paid in there, everybody's salary for being there, the assistants, everything. Like it just seems like to be a complete and utter waste of money. That's why I kind of like the way that the pandemic's kind of brought about the Zoom aspect of how politicians meet now.
Politicians at work and everybody. I mean, it's a normal thing now.
Well, you work from home. You don't have to work from Ottawa anymore. You don't have to have your $200,000 moving allowances anymore given to politicians.
Yep. Nope. Absolutely.
Pay for a second house for them to live in there while they're during their term. Like,
sorry, I just noticed. Is that my hat? I'm still waiting.
I've given one hat away. This was your hat, actually.
It was, wasn't it? I thought so. I was looking. I was like, Engine 34. That's my hat.
I know, but it's my hat now.
I know, but you said you'd get me one and send it to me, but I'm still waiting.
I haven't even got my own daughter a hat yet. Yeah, you can hold your breath all you want. Can you hold it as long as Canada Post takes?
No, absolutely not. Absolutely not. That was Josh's become a firefighter, and he got that hat, and we spent some time together, and I'm like, man, you got a firefighter's hat. You're a firefighter. I want one of those hats as a memento. I don't even wear hats, but he's like, well, I can't give you this one, but I'll get you one. I promise I'll get you one, and I'll send it to you. I'm still waiting.
We got to put out a couple of fires first.
I do. I've put out fires. I put out every fire I ever started.
Ran away.
Back to the voting. A little sidetrack, but I looked up some psychology of non-voters. So why people don't vote, and there's a few things. Trust. Both a lack of trust in either the system or in the politicians themselves. And I think that's probably number one. I don't vote because I don't trust them, because they don't do what they say they're going to do, and they do what they say they'll never do. And that's historically repeated itself time and time again. So for me to put my name behind somebody that's going to screw me, no, I'm not. I have no interest in that.
Well, why don't you vote for, if they're telling you they're going to do one thing, vote for the people that are saying what you don't want them to do, so they'll do what you want them to do, if that makes sense.
No.
Opposite day.
Yeah, opposite day. Reverse psychology voting. That's perfect. That one will fly real far. Mm-hmm. But I mean that's one of the big reasons. Principles. Unless there's a candidate who I feel I could vote for in good conscience, I'm not voting. And again, politicians have no culpability, no responsibility, nothing to be called out on. There's no recourse. I mean, Trudeau, I'm not going to say whether he did actually break the law and criminal violations with this SNC and all this other stuff. People say he did, whatever. I'm not getting into that. But there's nothing. Why don't you all vote for me again?
Yeah.
What? And people are going to vote for them. I just want to smack each and every single one of them.
They're all narcissists.
I guess, but so why would I vote for somebody when they have zero accountability? Right? Yeah. Care. So many people, they got more important things to care about. I mean, the youth, that's part of the problem with the youth. They've got their YouTube videos. Wait, that's
TikTok.
See, we're youth, Josh.
Yeah, we're the YouTube.
But they've got other things.
They're into TikTok now. They don't have an attention span long enough to deal with YouTube videos. They need those 2-3 minute TikTok videos.
And this is going on TikTok.
Yeah. There you go. Maybe somebody will see it that needs to see it, though.
There we go. We'll fit right in now.
Yeah, no doubt.
Yeah.
We need to do a dance first, though. That's the only way you get on TikTok. There you go.
Okay. Other reasons onward. Fighting the system. People don't like the system. I myself don't like the system.
I don't think there's one person that likes the system anymore, yet we still accept the system.
As far as I'm concerned, every single person that is out there voting must like the system because they're supporting it by voting. I mean, think about it honestly. If these numbers that we were looking at before, if these numbers went down to like 5% voter turnout, would they just continue doing it? You know, I go, what was that? Brewster's Millions. Remember Brewster's Millions? Richard Pryor, God rest his soul.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Yeah, like just vote no. Right? That was his thing, wasn't it? Just vote no. Let's put that as an option on the thing. Just vote no. Yeah. You know? And then the system will have to change.
Well, then if enough people vote no, maybe your no vote should go back into a referendum / another election, and your politicians have to try even harder next time to get your vote.
Yeah.
You know, maybe make those phone calls. You know, send your MPs out door to door, which I don't think they've been doing. Not at least on the West Coast. It's kind of started to rain a little bit more, and from what I understand, they melt if it touches them. So.
Oh, well, they've made it of sugar.
Yeah, well, times are hard right now. Getting employees, to hold your umbrellas and stuff when you're walking from door to door too is
Oh, some of those videos, poor Trudeau. I feel bad for the guy. Not bad enough to vote for him, but I mean, I watch these videos of him walking through towns and stuff. I love the positive PR ones that are on like the Facebook, like he's bartending, and then they turn around and they show the crowd, or you see some other footage from somebody's camera, and there's like 7 people in the bar, but
and they're all booing them.
All 7 people were in the photo for the photo op. And then he goes outside and walks down the street and people start throwing rotten tomatoes at him. I mean,
but that's all edited out, and you can't even hear the sound clips from the background anymore from his events. I think the one in Surrey, there was like 300-400 people behind him heckling him
the whole way.
Shouting. There was megaphones.
Oh, it was brutal.
And the CBC edited out every single piece of that.
Oh man, I've seen people's video, like cell phone footage and stuff, and that, that they can't edit. Thank God. I mean, here's my whole thing. Let's do everything online. It's already online anyways.
Hey, we're
online.
You
don't understand. We are online. And then the last thing, there's a whole lot of information about personality typing on why people don't vote. How introverts are not likely to vote. Extroverts are more likely to go out and vote and stuff, which kind of makes sense. You know what I mean? I can understand that. And I don't know that I'd call myself an introvert or an extrovert necessarily, but
you're an extrovert.
Well, I'm trying to say that because it says that I should be more likely to vote, which I'm not. Yep. So,
but you're also an educated extrovert, and
I am SMRT smart. Yeah.
You see, I'm not. See, I went out and voted the first day I could possibly vote.
I was excited to way back when. I was really excited to, but again, there was nothing to vote for even then. I mean, I was jaded by, electing the class president. It was just a popularity contest, and they're going to give me free ice cream, and I never got my damn free ice cream. So,
no way.
Well, he's not going to do it. Why is anybody going to do it? And I think I was smart enough and reading newspapers and stuff and hearing all the bad bullshit about politicians that I have no interest in supporting them from day one. I'm not going to support you if you're not going to support me, and blah, blah, blah. The list goes on. I mean, it's not about me. It's about everybody else, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
When was the last time you voted?
I don't know. It's been a while, buddy.
Yeah, no doubt.
Yeah, it's been a while. I just couldn't care less.
Yeah, fair.
Well, yes, I could.
Enough.
I could care more, but I can't support a system that doesn't work.
Fair enough.
You know, yeah. So,
and that's what we're here to do, is to provide a better system.
There's so many things that I'd want to change. I was talking with somebody earlier. You know, I find it amazing that when you have children, you get a tax credit. Taxes pay for the children's. Taxes pay for their education and the health care and the whole thing. So for not having children, you're penalized.
Yes.
How does that make any sense?
Oh, it doesn't.
To grow the population?
And you know what? We never used to get a child tax benefit either, just because we made too much money. But that's one thing.
Ooh, aren't you fancy?
No, I know. Because well, I mean, what's making too much money in the government's eyes, right? You know. So we're above the poverty line. Awesome. But now with the Liberals' new thing is everybody gets a child tax benefit now. Everybody, regardless of what you make, doesn't matter. Here you go. Here's free money. Here's free money. That's the way it
makes no sense to me. I'm okay with it. No. Whatever, it's fine. But it's just how it is the logic. You're taxed on the taxes that you were taxed to be taxed on, and then you got to pay tax on that. And then when you die, you got to pay tax.
It's like buying a used vehicle.
Yeah.
You know, all the old cars that I used to buy, like my old 1983 Ford Ranger that I bought years back, it's probably been taxed 10, 15 times in its life, even though it's been taxed the first time.
Yep. Makes no sense at all. But again, with my system, you know, I don't even want to see, I want the Bank of Canada to actually be a bank. First of all, everybody gets paid through the Bank of Canada. You as a citizen are entitled to an account. The fees are absolutely minimal, just the base, if any whatsoever.
There shouldn't be any fees.
There should be none. I want your income tax to come off before. So if you get a job paying $15 an hour or $45,000 a year, that's what you actually take home. Taxes is done on the other side, and that will cover your sales tax, it will cover your income tax, your property tax, all the different taxes, because it's all bullshit, you know. So
it's still up to the employer on how much you make, though, or is this something that you want determined by? Okay.
No, you're going to earn what you're going to earn. I mean, that's a whole dilemma in itself to begin with. The government screwed the pooch. This whole minimum wage of $15 an hour. I mean,
which because of inflation now is completely unrealistic, anyways.
Well, since the 40s, 30s, whenever, if the minimum wage or wage increases across the board had a minimum increase equal to that of inflation, problem solved. Right? But they didn't. They screwed it. They kept minimum wage as minimum as the longest time. So now you want to give everybody a $5 an hour or $10 an hour raise. It doesn't work because, well, first of all, the guy that's working at Walmart, little Johnny, that's a great worker, studies hard, goes in and puts all of his hours in, never hear a peep from him. He's the most productive worker in the shop. He's been there for 4 years. He's gotten 5 raises. He makes $15 an hour. So little Billy's going to come in and make $15 an hour. What's Johnny going to get? Johnny goes up to $20 an hour. So if I make $40 an hour, do I go up to $50, $60 an hour? That's the only way that it's going to work because, you know what, little Johnny goes to buy a Hat Meal that costs him $5. Well, now that he's making $15 an hour, now it's going to cost him $10 or $7.50 an hour, right?
Well, so that's the thing.
It's
those minimum wage jobs were never supposed to be living wage jobs. Those were meant for kids, seniors, and retirement. And they were a jumping off point to work give yourself some work experience and, learn the real world sort of thing.
But it's still less. I mean, I think my first job was $4 and some odd cents an hour, when I was a kid, right? And that was what, 6-7 years ago. So what?
Yeah.
Yeah. But so, I mean, none of that stuff works. No. So we did say we were going to talk more about voting, and we've got a couple other.
What's going on here? Speaking of voting, a little side note here. So far, it's pretty well a dead heat with the Liberals and Conservatives from the early polls here.
Of course,
31.5% Liberal, 31% Conservative. But the People's Party, oh my God, they've surpassed the Bloc Québécois now. They are 7%.
Oh wow.
Which is maybe Maxime Bernier will actually get his seat back.
Maybe I should have gone and voted, because then it would have been 7% still.
Well, no, it probably would have been 8. I mean, how many people
with
actually
one extra
voted?
vote? Yeah. Well, 2.8% of the votes for the last election was 513,810 people.
Yeah.
So
I mean,
yeah, it'd still be 7%.
Just vote a bunch of times.
Yeah, that would be nice. There are places that do that you can vote multiple times, but only your last vote counts. And that is with e-voting, with online voting. So I did a fair amount of research on online voting. Now, there's problems with it. There's a couple of big problems. One of the big problems is the secrecy, anonymity. Right? Everybody wants their vote to be anonymous. And I understand why that could lead to a lot of problems. But I kind of agree with it. I mean, people can be pressured into voting a certain way or something like that because, you can voter intimidation and yada, yada. The list goes on. So secrecy,
I think it works on a household that you have more than one person of voting age anyways. You're always kind of coerced to vote the way that the household is already voting.
Probably.
At least that's the way that I see it. Like growing up in a conservative house, my dad wanted everybody to vote conservative all the time.
Yeah. And that's I think most places go that way. And then you're going to end up voting liberal, piss your dad off. But
that's pretty much what it is. I voted for Chrétien.
Yeah. But to me, where does the anonymity lie? I mean, first of all, you're walking into a place and your voter registration card. Yeah, I mean, you could easily be identified and they could figure out what ballot was yours. You know what I mean? By process of elimination, if not anything.
Yeah.
So I don't think that is that anonymous. I was interested to find in the States that it is not your constitutional right that the vote is anonymous. Everybody says it's in the Constitution. It is not. So
anybody could walk into that polling box with you and have a look.
I mean, it's the way that it's like anything else. Laws are written, right? And everybody makes it my constitutional right to vote anonymously. I don't need a voter ID card. And actually, that's not true. It is not.
Well, then having a voter ID card in the United States has been deemed racist now.
Oh, of course it is. Of course it is. Yeah.
So because every illegal immigrant in the country now has the right to vote, as they have for the last, how long it's been since the illegal immigrants have been voting in the United States for.
Forever.
California has the biggest illegal turnouts ever.
Are there legals there?
Are there legals or are there illegals there? I think be careful where we're going with this conversation.
I'm joking, of course. I was thinking of Texas. I mean, what? My favorite place, by the way, my favorite American state is definitely Texas. God bless you, Texas.
All American. As far as I'm concerned, that is the only America.
It's pretty awesome there. Estonia. What do you think of Estonia?
I don't know much about Estonia.
Little northern European nation.
Except for that's where the caveman was from. That was Brendan Fraser's character.
So the caveman was the first man. So it's come from the beginning. So we should all follow suit because it's a history. I don't know. Interestingly enough, they use online voting nationwide.
Solely, they don't do paper ballots. They don't do write-in ballots, polling stations.
They can, but they have the option to vote online in local, national, and European elections. It's called the iVoting system. Electors log into an internet platform and use their microchip-enabled national identity card or a mobile ID linked to a special SIM card to authenticate their identity. So it's like a SIM card in your phone or your ID. Don't go off about, I don't want to have another chip. You've got more chips in your life than you know what to do with. So shut it, okay? That's stupid. If you have a phone, a computer, a modern appliance, anything, and if you're listening to the show, it's on the computer, so you're screwed. You're chipped. They know exactly where you are and what you're doing. So just shut it. So I hate people have that argument. I'm all for having a chip implanted into my hand, like a little RFID chip, and that'll open my door locks. That'll start my car. That'll pay my debit bills. That'll do everything. I don't ever have to carry a wallet. I don't ever have to carry keys. I'm 100% for that, for the record. I'd actually met a guy that was in New Mexico that had that. This is going back 25 years ago. Everything in his life was done by a chip that he implanted into his hand himself. Mind you, it was quite a big chip, and it looked a little weird, but it still worked well. Personal information in Estonia, including the person's name, is removed from each ballot before counting to ensure the anonymity. Security measure meant to prevent fraud. Voters can vote online multiple times before the deadline, with each new vote canceling out the last vote, which is kind of nifty. I'd like to see a system where I don't know that anonymity is necessary. It almost forces a little bit of voting with better conscience. You know what I mean? Right now, people are out. Most of the people that have voted for any of these candidates right now, for O'Toole, for example, are not voting for him. They're voting against him, against Trudeau, or against him. That's just what we're doing, and that's the dumbest thing in the world. So
that's what we've been doing for years
and years, and it's the stupidest thing.
We voted for Trudeau to get Harper out, and that was it. Even though I didn't vote for Trudeau to get Harper out, because that was
anytime I see these negative ads and stuff like that, that's all they're trying to do is get me to not vote for. You know what I mean? That's bullshit. That's just stupid. Yeah. So, I was looking at a lot of different systems that we could use for electronic voting. At the far end of the spectrum for security and whatnot, have government-supplied devices. If the government went out and we bought 100,000, 500,000, 1 million devices, and they got shipped around or something like that, back and forth or whatever, so that you could use this device to make your vote. You know what I mean? That would kind of be nifty. You figure out what the costs of these things are going to be. You can just you get a device. You know what I mean?
It's okay. We've already spent $610 million on this election, so I think we can cover the bill for a couple of little
phones.
Things. Yeah. Well, even just use your phone, for Christ's sake, or your computer.
Well,
or phone it in for the people that don't have phones. Have a phone-in system where you can phone your vote in.
How about better than that? How about all the people?
Press 1.
All the people that are at all these voting stations, the tons and tons of people they have, they sit on phones and phone. Hey, what's your vote? Hey, Mary, what's your vote?
Well, that's what they're doing right now anyways. When I went to vote, the lady seemed more concerned about what was on her phone than me putting my ballot in the box to begin with.
Jesus.
Oh, it took forever. It took an hour and 10 minutes for 8 people in front of me to vote.
Mm-hmm.
And that's the problem that they're having right now today.
Amazing.
The elections offices are overwhelmed. There's been big problems with their mail-in voting system right now, where the ballot cards never got sent out in time. So the people that were going to vote in mail can't vote in mail anymore. The voting station's right behind my house, and I'm just watching the lineups, and people not move whatsoever. The
really? That's crazy.
Oh yeah, it's a nightmare. I don't think you're going to see any results tonight, tomorrow, possibly even the next day.
Yeah,
So,
the logistics behind how they do it and count it, and I don't have faith in that either.
and they're all
I
paper
just
ballots.
don't. I know.
Like it's the year 2021. Even our provincial election was all done. It was all not but like they all
Yeah.
had laptops and everything. Like,
Yeah.
watching the federal election, it's all archaic stuff.
Totally.
They got ledgers out and they're crossing stuff off. And,
Yeah,
it's all paper. There's not one computer involved in it.
It's so silly, as far as I'm concerned.
Oh, 100%.
Yeah. What about terminals like bank machines in the subway stations and grocery stores, where there's like a little bank machine terminal sort of thing with face recognition? You walk up to it.
And they all have them now.
You tap your card for your ID. It scans your face. Yep, you are you. Hey, we're voting on this today. Because remember, I don't want to just vote on this. I want to get rid of politicians and voting on politicians because they're a bunch of trained monkeys. And I want to vote on the actual stuff that matters, which is pretty much everything. So then I can voice my opinion on everything. So if you had them like bank machines, hey, wait, Barry had this idea that the Bank of Canada is actually a bank. Huh. So you get your bank card, you get your bank account, and you go up to the teller, and you can vote right there on anything all the time. Well, that's a little bit of a solution. What about options on tax forms?
On what?
Tax forms. Oh,
tax forms.
Yeah. Somebody's going to do some fraud action and do my taxes for me so that they can cast a vote. Right? Like, there's so many ways to get through this and around this. And there are companies that are out there that do it. I want to get rid of
those companies are untrustworthy as well, though. Like the ones that handle all the voting, like the Dominion voting terminals or whatever it is, with the big problems they had in the United States with them.
Yeah,
and especially with all the dead people voting.
Yeah, well, dead people have the right to vote too.
Well, it's true. They just got to get to the polling stations, apparently. So
they float.
There's some pretty freaky parts of the United States, if that's the case.
Yeah. There's been some other jurisdiction to use online voting for subnational elections for certain population groups. The Australian state of New South Wales, which allows voters with disabilities and those living in remote areas or out of state to vote online. Switzerland, out-of-country voters and some residents have voted online in certain elections and referendums. New Mexico, New Zealand, Panama gives voters living abroad the option to vote over the internet. And more than 30 U.S. states allow both military members and out-of-country residents to actually vote online. Yep. France, United Kingdom, Norway, the Indian state of Gujarat, Barcelona have all piloted online voting in some elections, but have not completely gone through with them. In Canada, hundreds of municipalities in Ontario, Nova Scotia use internet voting for local elections, and the Northwest Territories allowed absentee voters to vote online for the first time in 2019. So this is not new.
So
it's not even remotely close to new. It can be done. I like my bank idea that I just brainstormed. Bank of Canada becomes an actual bank. Well, that just holds all the rest of the banks accountable, right? They're not going to be, I remember it was Royal Bank. They were like, hey, we made $3.8 billion this quarter. By the way, our Interac fees are going up by 50 cents.
Oh, yeah. Why wouldn't they? Well, because they got to keep those profits coming in. Now they need bigger bonuses. They got to break their records.
It's the
accumulation of wealth.
Bank of Canada is an actual bank. You can bank there. You get paid there. You use a debit card there. We can even do credit cards. We can do banking stuff. And then we can also throw in voting. Anytime you go to the bank machine, we can use Face ID, nice and simple. There, you can use fingerprint. Poke myself and get my DNA. Do whatever you want. You can make this secure,
Except for my DNA. I'm not going to get poked.
Poking. They don't need to poke you. You just take a hair sample.
I've already given in to the poke thing.
Yeah, no doubt. Pokey.
which is
there's ways to figure it out, and I'd like people out there to be paying attention to it that can give us some thoughts and ideas of why it wouldn't work, why we can't do it. I've heard every argument. There's always a way to figure it out, you know.
Oh yeah, exactly.
But then it's vote on everything.
The first step is to recognize that the system's broken. Slightly. And I'm pretty sure enough people have recognized that the system's been broken for a long time now.
Oh, it's broken as all hell.
Well, where do you move on from there? Do you stay complacent and keep working with a broken system and keep repeating history over and over and over again?
There was arguments,
or do you try to change?
There was arguments that the system was broken pre-internet days. You know, people were already communicating with phone calls. You know. So I can get my opinion anywhere. This is not 500 BC when democracy started. This is 2022. We could figure this shit out pretty easily.
Oh, yeah. I think so.
And the world would be a better place. But I think it needs to be checks, balances, and accountability and all sorts of goodness. I don't know what the next time we'll talk about. I mean, voting, we can expand on voting, on how you would vote on every decision. You have the ability to vote on every decision in
Which
Parliament.
should be the way a true modern democracy works.
Yes.
Hey, look what I did there.
Whew. You know what, Josh? You know what I'm going to give you?
Gold star.
Yeah, there you go.
Thank
nice round
you.
of applause. Yeah. Nice round of applause. So, we can expand on more on voting. Hopefully, we'll maybe get some comments and questions and stuff like that we can dig into a little bit and listen to everybody, how much everybody thinks that I'm a big idiot. And sure,
no, you said some smart things.
Yeah, a couple, one or two, maybe.
Yeah, maybe three.
Oh, oof, look at me. Hold on a second.
How many people you got over there, Barry? You guys allowed to have big groups inside yet?
Yeah, we got a big group. It's like a little bit of a party over here. Sometimes I got to tell them to keep it down. You know, there you go.
I hope you all got your cloth masks on.
Yeah, exactly. This green screen mask. Oh, that would be kind of trippy. I gotta make a green screen mask.
Oh yeah, you can put whatever you want on there.
I guess, yeah. Nifty. We don't know nothing about green screens.
I don't know anything about anything.
No, I don't know why we do this background. Chair stinks.
Oh, wait, I can go the other way. I was going to try to sneak in behind you, but
awesome.
Anywho,
fun with cameras.
That's right.
Nice.
This is all new to me.
Yeah, no doubt. So I will wait till next time, next week or something like that. We can continue on voting, and we'll find some completely different, or maybe we can go ahead and talk about how teachers should all just get paid $35,000 a year. Leave your comments below, and it will make perfect sense, and you will all agree with me, including teachers.
Oh yeah, 100%. Well, not maybe some teachers.
There'll be a few teachers that'll be pissed, and I'm happy at that. Yeah. Very happy at that.
And that's good. They should probably just retire.
Yes, or quit. Yeah, give it up.
Or quit, or get fired, or just
whatever.
Yeah, or start giving.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. My system for this works. It would be amazing. We would be the country with the best education system in the world and the smartest kids you'd ever did see.
Yeah.
We'll leave it at that.
We used to be pretty good.
I think we're not bad. I mean, I've seen better, I've seen worse, right? But
I don't know. We're pretty bad, but we can talk about that later. But one quick little thing is the City of Vancouver School Board, the district school board, has voted unanimously to get rid of their honors program for their high school students, and we'll leave it at that because it's not inclusive to dumb people.
I got a fly on my head.
Yeah, you do. Were you even listening to anything I said?
Yes, I was watching a fly on my head. Vancouver is stupid. Uh-oh. I hear music.
Uh-oh. Are we done?
I think so. The music started.
All right, then. I can't hear any music, but
it's very light. It's coming in slowly. We're going to fade away into oblivion. I think it's so. I maybe have to make a little edit or two on that. But, you know.
Oh, yeah.
There you go. Thanks, everyone. See you soon.
Yeah, goodbye.